Hello.
Hey. Hey guys, this is Ress and Nique, and this is She Wolf Alchemy. Today we're going to be talking about relationships, and we're really going to be focusing on when is it time to hold your ground and stay, and when it's time to let go and walk away. Um, I know the reason I specifically wanted to bring this up was like, I just feel like I am seeing a lot in friends and even associates. I don't know if it's corona or we all just on the same life cycle, but it seems like a lot of people are struggling with this. They're meeting at a point in relationships. I feel like this was definitely a thing last year, especially um, where things were getting kind of hard or things were getting kind of mundane, and people were like, okay, at this point, like, should I stay or should I go? And talking to the different people, understanding, listening to their perspective on why they decided to stay, why they decided to go, or why they were having issue making a choice either way was absolutely fascinating to me. And I thought it was something that we can like just really sort through. Nick, what's your feeling on when it's time to stay and when it's time to go?
Me personally, I think it's like a thing that everybody is going through, and it's just like it's harder. I think with COVID, it is harder because, like, okay, if I leave, I think it's like the fear of not knowing who you will talk to or being alone, and then it's COVID, and it makes things worse. And I don't know what COVID really has to do with it, but it just seems like people are staying more now.
Isolation,
Situations, huh?
fear of being
Yeah,
isolated.
that is it. And then it's just like I don't have anybody else to talk to, so I might as well just talk to this person.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think that is a thing. But I'm like in my own personal life still struggle with the times to go and the times to stay. Um, is it is a challenge.
Is your challenge more on leaving or is your challenge more on staying?
Leaving, leaving. I know I get more. I like in different situations. Like in the past, I never had any challenges with leaving anybody. But then it's like as you grow, you try to figure out, okay, should I leave this person because of this minor thing? So I know coming up, I left people for anything. So I just didn't want it to be like me keep doing that and not giving out somebody a chance. But then as I grow older, I started to think like, am I giving too many chances? So I know the old me wouldn't. So
Yeah. But I also think when you get older, the more you realize, like, oh, that's a trait that all y'all seem to have. So I guess I need to try to tolerate that a little bit more. Or
yeah.
oh, this is you are actually way more tolerable than if all you got is this one thing, versus when you're younger, you're just like, I can get anybody I want. I'm gonna lose you. I'm gonna lose you. And then the older you get,
And somebody else is gonna come. Yeah.
yeah. And even when you're older, you're a beautiful woman. You still get other people that's coming, but when you're older, it's like, yeah, but they come in with all this other baggage. I know
Right.
your baggage. I feel like I can handle most of your baggage. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
have to start and find out new people's baggages.
Or have to relearn somebody, and you just know this person, like,
Yeah.
so it can be challenging. Yeah.
See, I think mine is the opposite. It's hard for me to hold my ground. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard for me to hold my ground. I will leave in a minute, but it's hard for me to hold my ground. I don't know if I was always like that in the past. I feel like it was a mix in the past because I had some people I feel like I kind of fought for the relationship, and I've had people who I was like, no, I just gave up on that because he chewed funny at dinner. But I feel like now, definitely over the last like 4 years, it's been it's been really hard. I haven't met somebody that has made me feel like, okay, I need to fight for this. I want to try to work this out. I want to stand my ground in this.
I don't know what caused me. I mean, cause like growing up or dating as I got older, I never. fought for any of them, except for, I mean, for my like fiance. I guess but it was, I didn't have to fight for him though. You know, like fight for him to stay with me, or I didn't have to have that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not
But like,
necessarily the fight always. Like when I say fight for it, I mean like you get on my nerves and I want to walk away, but I'm gonna try to fight through this feeling of I want to smack you every day. Like I'm gonna
yeah,
fight through that. That's what I mean fight. Like not a like
uh-huh,
you trying to leave, but like fighting to hold the relationship together when
together.
it's like yeah, when it seems like oh we should definitely leave each other.
I think most of the time I just left. I didn't have that fight in me. To like try to say it's worth it. I would come back. I would leave, and then I would come back, and that was my thing. But I don't think I was like trying to hold the relationship together.
But isn't that a way of fighting for it? Like if it's more than once, if you leave and come back multiple times, I feel like that is that is a
Okay.
fight. That's just giving intermission. Like
Yeah.
y'all go
I guess coming
intermission to
back
get
and saying it's
popcorn and
worth
come
it.
back.
Yeah, I guess saying and coming back and saying it's worth it is the. I did do that often, but I never stuck through it though. Like stuck through it. Like I just like it's time to go, and I will go. But I guess that is another way of fighting though.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good way of fighting, but it's definitely another way of
At
fighting.
all, not at all.
I feel like mine in the past was definitely a mix. Um and the only reason I say a mix because there was one particular person and that was the first person I ever like loved. And we lived far away from each other. So I knew I loved him when I was like 16. And then when I went off to college, we lived closer. Um and then I had my own apartment. So that also helped. And because uh he was my friend. He was like my best friend. And so I felt the need to fight because I was like, no, who knows you better than me? Who knows me better than
Mm-hmm.
you? And so he had all type of demons that needed hands laid on. And I was just like, I mean, I can Google some stuff. We can
Mm-hmm.
expel them. And oh, that was a horrible, horrible situation that left many emotional scars. And he's actually probably the reason why I never fought again. He's probably
Yeah,
after that, I was like, oh, we not doing no type of fighting here.
you know that's. I don't know what I don't know. It's like recently, like as I got older, I just started to linger, and that angers me too. That I'm letting things linger.
Mm-hmm.
It's very irritating because I know I had been me to leave, but I don't know the lingering feeling. But
Explain that lingering feeling.
oh, I guess I don't. I guess you. I think for me, it's thinking about old ways, like ways that that person used to be, or ways that that person presented himself, or
Okay.
ways that they used to act. I want those ways to come back. So it's like lingering, trying to. It will come back. It will come back. They'll show me. They will show me.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're not. They're not showing you at all. So it's like you can't like go off the past or
That's true.
whatever. So it's just like you cannot go off the past. You have to go off what's in your face every day. What are they showing you now?
Yeah,
Because
that's
people can
true.
grow and be different people. So you got to figure out what's now. You can't like go off the past. And I think that's my thing for like fighting or linger or keeping it going is just trying to find that same little spark that used to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. That's definitely a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know for me, currently, my whole it's time to go. Again, it can be anything. It can be the way you tie your shoes. But I have been trying to be more mature about it. And I feel like over the last 2 years, once I feel emotionally unfulfilled with you, it's time for me to go. Not that I feel that your partner's supposed to fill you up emotionally, but so maybe I shouldn't say that. Once I feel emotionally exhausted with you, once you have me questioning if you are infringing on my peace, that's when it's time for me to reevaluate the situation.
Or if you have to
Um,
guess. Yeah, I have to guess how they feel.
yeah, that too.
Because if you're not
That too.
emotionally safe, like I don't feel emotionally safe with you, like
That's the
I
biggest.
don't know, like like my partner could. This is like different, but my partner could like lose his job and just been trying to find a job for all this time and keep trying, but they're trying. But I still know that they love me. I'd rather be with a guy who's trying to find a job or trying to get his life together, but I still know he loves me than a guy who I don't know really how you even feel about me.
Yeah.
And you could be rich, but I don't even know how you feel about me. So
Oh,
it's just like I rather yeah, that's the thing. I rather
no, I'm saying I agree. I agree.
yeah.
I have been put in situations where people are like, okay, but why wouldn't you like stick around and oh, he make good money and yes, but this man make me feel like I have to always question where we stand.
Mhm.
There is
Mhm.
nothing more I hate than being with somebody who makes me have to question where we are from day to day.
Yeah.
Because on one day or on one week we good. You calling every morning, you text me throughout the day, you calling me at night or sending me a text at night. We're making plans. We seen each other 3 days a week. But then you go off and says something real stupid that now has me wondering like, so wait, hold on, what you doing? But
Mhm.
what are we doing?
Mhm.
And that's another thing, like, because there are many women who says like, yeah, if he really care or love you, he gonna do it. Stop listening to words, but he gonna do it. And guess what, girls? I had somebody who did all the action and as still was unsure and still had me confused and wondering like, where are we going, what are we doing? And don't get me wrong, his family knew of me. I introduced me to all his boys, over his house, anywhere from 2 to 3 nights a week, um, date night every weekend, all that. Good dates too. Like we weren't going to McDonald's. We were going to Mary Mac's. He was, what's your favorite steak restaurant? That's where we were going. And again, doing all the right things, wanting to meet my mom, wanting to, meet my child, all of that stuff. But then would say things opposite. He would do everything and then would say things that would make me go, okay, hold on, where are we?
Right.
Because why? For example, when Corona first hit, my daughter was with her grandparents. So, because my job was still working, but her school was closed. I have a toddler, so we couldn't figure out anything. Her dad was still working as well. So she went to stay with my mother for about a month while we try to figure things out. And so during that month, me and him were like staying at each other's place like 3-4 days a week at this point, working
Yeah.
together. I was working in his bedroom, he was working in the kitchen.
Mhm.
And stuff like that. And I'm like walking in and he'll like wave to me. He's on the middle of Face or Zoom. And one of his coworkers, is that Caress? And they can't pronounce my name right. Um, is that Ress? And he like, oh yeah, oh, that's your wife. Tell your wife she's so beautiful. And I had this whole moment of, why do they think I'm your wife?
Right.
And we had he was like, yeah, all of them are like, you're my wife, I'm gonna marry you, blah blah blah. Keep in mind, all this is information that I didn't ask for, that I didn't ask him to give to me. That's information he decided to tell me. And then later ended up having a whole conversation with me later of like, yeah, I never see myself dating a single mother. I don't even know if I want kids. Sir,
Why wasn't
the
this a
first day
thing
you
that was
met me, the
before?
first thing I said was that I was a mother. Half my conversations are of me about being a mother. Half the time when you ask me what I'm doing, oh, me and my daughter are, me and my baby are about to
Mm-hmm.
cooking this up for my. So, and y'all got to understand, this was like months into it. So that situation. And for me, when I got to the point, because at first I let there be a conversation, and then of course he was no, you misunderstood me. I'm just saying, in the past I never seen it, so this is a new experience for me because I've never done it, blah blah blah. And then we had another situation like that where things were going really good and we were having a really nice night out. I don't remember what he said or did, but it was something that also just caught me completely off guard. And I was like, okay,
Right.
I was like, okay, so this is the last time we're gonna do this. And he's like, I don't know, and blah blah blah. And we fixed that part. I left and I was just like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna talk to you if I feel like talking to you later. And I took a couple of days off and then eventually talked to him, eventually answered his text 3 days later. And we decided, okay, let's try this again. But that third, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but the third time he disappointed me in a way that it shook my peace. I was like, sir, do you not realize you're an option? You are an option. I don't even mean that in a mean way, but I mean like dealing with you and dealing with your bullshit is optional.
Yeah.
I can always opt out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that third time. That's what I did. I was like, you know what? I'm opting out. Now, I did it very dramatic in a Beyonce I ain't sorry way.
Mm-hmm.
Left a note in the hallway. By the time he read that shit, I was far away. Can I just tell you though, I didn't know that I did it Beyonce style until I was talking to Steph and I was telling her like what happened. And she was like, oh, so you did it. I ain't sorry. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I ain't sorry. And she was like, I left a note in the hallway. By the time you read it, I'll be far away. And I was like, oh, yeah, you right. You right. Those very words might have been written down in
Guess
that
you're
note.
right.
But, and then for me at that point, I was like, nope, it's not, you're kind of affecting my peace. At that point for me, it was like, you have affected my peace.
Big time, yeah.
I am now realizing my interaction with you are not peaceful and I feel now stressful even at the thought of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time for me to back away. It's time for me to walk away because the feeling of stress is now overcoming any feelings of
romantic or
of any type of romantic connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. Yeah. So that's like when you walk away. That's when you like no turning back for you.
Yeah. Whenever anybody makes me feel like, oh, you are disrupting my peace, it's time to go. But also, I'm like that with jobs. Like,
yeah.
Once my job start interrupting my peace, I'm like, okay, so we need to figure out a plan B.
Because this ain't it, right?
Yeah. All right. So what's your thing that's like, when you start doing this, it's time to go?
I would say that it's the same thing, like my peace, but lately I haven't left, and my peace is very much disturbed. But so I guess that's not as high on the list as I thought it was. But I guess mine could be disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely disrespect. Like if I feel disrespected anyways, or like I thought we had something and I clearly find out, like say I clearly find out that I thought we were exclusive but you're talking to somebody else, I would leave. I wouldn't turn back for that. I know I wouldn't turn back for that. That has happened. shoot, the guy who had girl me and a girl at the same time, and I bounced,
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is it. That is mine. It's more of like a disrespect or belittling me, or I don't feel safe. Not even like safe emotionally, but just like safe being that physical either. But just like I don't feel like you have my best interests and you don't really care about hurting me.
Yeah, that is emotional safety.
It's emotional safety, but I think if it's blatant disrespect, like if it could be emotional safety, but if the person was still acting nice to me, I probably would still stay.
Oh, so it needs to be a combo.
It needs to be like, yeah, it needs to be disrespect, like blatant disrespect, like I'm seeing it, and I like you're disrespecting me. I'm going, or you have a whole another woman, or you're. If I thought we were doing something, I thought we were growing, but it's a whole nother situation going on. I'm leaving then too. It's no turning back from that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think I've had that in anybody I was serious with though. Like serious relationships. But that the emotional safety part you touched on, now that's a huge thing for me. If especially like if I'm getting close to someone and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let my guard down for you. Because I don't. And I think guys are used to girls just saying like, no, I don't let my guard down. And then they do
Yeah.
immediately. But like I don't. I do not let my guard down easily. And so it's like if you get me to the point that I feel safe enough to let my guard down, and then once I start letting it down little by little, you start making me feel like this is a bad idea. You are not an emotional safe person, and not being an emotional safe person can be like disregarding my feelings. You at one point I thought you were some person I could come and talk to when I have certain feelings, but the way you reacted the last time I did that, now I
And
don't
I
feel like
feel
that's
so
something I
safe.
can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or opening up to somebody and then they
Mm-hmm.
just blow it back in your face.
Yes.
Oh, I don't feel safe with you anymore. Thanks a lot.
Or just not responding at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
having an
definitely. Or it
emotional
doesn't affect them
breakdown,
that I'm hurt. Yeah.
yes, yes. If you hurting me does not hurt you, there's no point of us doing this.
At all. At all.
Because it could be my child, it could be you, it could be my cousin, it could be anyone, but especially someone I'm dating. It hurts me if I intentionally hurt you. Even if I didn't intentionally hurt you, even when I feel like it wasn't my fault, I still am hurt
If
by
I
the
know I
fact
hurt
that
you,
you were hurt.
that's
Yeah.
hurting me. It really is. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big one for me. Like I really do not like men who are like so emotionally detached that they cannot pick up on how their actions affect others.
And just keep on going like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, what is wrong? I don't get how guys. I don't know. Not all guys are like that, but I don't get how some guys act like that.
Girl, I only attach. I only get emotionally detached men with mommy issues. That is like my specialty. I think it's the boobs. Y'all don't know this, but I'm a very busty lady, and I feel like that's why I keep dragging. Not even dragging; they just flock to me. Men with mother issues.
I'm not here to solve those, sir.
Look. How about I be your social worker? Like,
you can just do
I don't
that.
think you need a girlfriend, but I'll be your social worker. I have a licensure. I plan to be paid $30 an hour, sir.
Right. And then yours are like mommy issues, but then mine's be like the relationships that weren't really good is the no daddy. Like all of them that hit those spots, like it was the guys that had no dad, or they had actually had a whole dad that lived there, but never showed them how to be a man or in a relationship. And they lived in the house. They was married, but it was just like they wasn't good in their role, so they never knew how to act. and that's why they're emotionally available. Because guess what, Daddy was too.
Yeah. See, my last long-term relationship, he his dad was in his life. I do think that's a source of issues that he just doesn't talk about. But he has a lot of he had a lot of mother issues because his mom had them young, and his mom joined the military. She to support her babies, and she was a single mom, and so I think from what I gathered, like he always felt like he didn't have enough time with her. She was always, off doing drills or out the country or whatever, and he felt like a burden to whoever was watching him. And then his little brother came around, and around the time the little brother came around, she was more local,
Right. So she
and
can be that person.
yeah. And so when that child came around, she was able to bond with that child more than she was able to bond with the person I was dating. And there's a lot of resentment there, and there was a lot of mommy issues. Like I'm talking about, y'all. I met the mother, and me and his father both looked at him like, oh, so that this is what you're doing, because his mom looks like me.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we the same skin complexion, busty, curly hair, big curly hair, like, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what this is. Glad to know. But yeah, I don't think I get a lot of daddy issue guys, but I do get a lot of mommy issue guys. And also, the last person I took serious, that was some mommy issues. That was some family issues, but there was some mommy issues in there as
It's
well.
like a lot of mommy issues, but mine's
Yes.
really are dad issues. Like, yeah, like he was a bad dad, or he was spending the money in the family, or wasn't treating his mom right. So these people all were very, very, very close with their moms, and so they weren't close with all with their dads.
Well, but here's my thing: it's not necessarily that having these issues makes it so bad, but like, what are you doing
to change it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I'm very aware of the fact that I have some daddy issues. I'm very aware of that fact. Like I am very aware, and it's not the stereotypical ones, because I definitely had one father that was there, that was supportive. Matter of fact, I just texted him earlier and was like, I got a speeding ticket. He was like, baby, you want me to pay it? No. Do you want me to? No. You sure? I mean, Dad, if it's not gonna stress you. So I have a good dad. I'm still able to get that pass. But I know I have, there's certain father issues I had, but I feel like I'm open with men about them, and not every man, but anybody like I'm like, oh, I'm about to be spending a lot of time with you. Before things get too deep, it is my belief to be open and honest. And I definitely feel going forward, I am not in a space right now where I'm ready to date. But I feel like when I'm going forward, I would like to, okay, we're going on a couple days. This is good. We're talking on a daily basis now. Okay, cool. We're taking that next step. Okay, stop the brakes. Let me talk to you and let you know some things. Let me let you know what you're getting yourself into. And I hope you will let me know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah, but I don't think they do.
No, they always lie about what you get into with them.
They the best thing ever. No.
I had this dude I dated who was just like how he was so honest, and that's his thing, because that was the issue in his past relationships, and because the girl's feelings would get hurt, and he was honest, and he was just like, see, y'all don't really want the truth. And I kept that noted, because I was like, that sounds like you're a psychopath, but okay. And I just noted it in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, cool. And it was telling me how all his exes still love him and blah blah blah, but he had to walk away because he know he couldn't be the person that they need, and the ex still was all over him. And that part was true, because I'm a female. I search. I googled the internets. I found her.
Yes.
Still on all his Facebook and Instagram posts. But like, the more I got to know him, the more I was like, oh, yeah, you like to tell the truth in the middle of things, though. It's not that you're so truthful and that's what hurts women. What hurts women is that you pretend to be one person, or maybe that's who you are. I don't know. For the first couple months, and then drop a bomb
and switch it up.
Yeah, and it'd be like, boom, but that's my truth, sir. That was the truth. I should have known 5 months ago.
And it should have been my decision if I want to continue.
Yeah. Waiting till now to drop that truth, that does not make you an honest person. That makes you a manipulative person. Yeah.
They always have that thing too, like, well, you didn't ask. I don't know what to ask you about your whole life. You open up what you feel like it's good for me to know. Stop with the shenanigans.
I really hate that. I hate that more than anything. Y'all know what y'all doing.
Exactly.
Y'all know what y'all doing.
I would never say, but you didn't ask. Because I'm going to tell you what I got to tell you to protect you and me.
And to just protect our time.
Yeah.
Like, let's protect our time. But also, and this is the thing, men don't understand, some women are okay dating casually. And so all you're doing is letting me know which category I'm going to put you in. Like, you know what? You're fun. I'm still attracted to you. You are not boyfriend material. So I'm going to put you in a casually dating spot. I'm going to leave you there. When I'm bored, I'll hit you up. When you're bored, you hit me up. We'll see what happens. Now, if priority category guy calls, you're going to have to take a back seat. Because
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Because, again, you casual. You casual and cool. Cool. But this is priority guy. This is guy who has made it clear that no, what he wants is a structured relationship. That's what he is moving towards. Now, he a liar too. We'll find that out later. But in the beginning, you know, there's no need for that casual dude to try to convince me he's this other person. Let me know who you are so I can know how to fit you into wherever area of my life I want to put you.
I totally agree. Yeah.
But also, I think another, like, should I stay or should I go thing is, are y'all even on the same page? Are y'all even on the same page? Because I feel like I know so many couples where it's like, if you talk to them individually, you'll kind of just like, all right, did you talk to your partner about that? Because I feel like you two have two different ideas. Because she want a house in the country, she want to move out the A, she want to move to Savannah and raise y'all kids on a farm. You talking about how you want to close on a loft in Midtown by the end of next year.
Right.
So,
or y'all just one person, we're just casual, and the other one, like, we're getting married. And it's just because you haven't talked. And you have to set those, like, first of all, you have to have the boundary, but you have to, like, sit down and say things that you want out of this relationship, things that you want, and can we meet those things for each other? And if we can't, let's go. Yeah. But it's all about the communication.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this, but it's not that I operate in that way, but it is about communication.
And one thing, though, ladies, we got to stop being tricked by let's just let things flow, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to stress anything or rush anything. When it's meant to be, then we gonna meant to be. I'm telling you right now that let's just let things flow is out of the man's pimp handbook of bullshitting you and to waste some time until you figure it out. Like, it just buys him time to be able to have sex with you until you figure out that he ain't about nothing.
And he don't want nothing for real.
Yeah.
Let's just see how it goes. I just feel like if they want you or if they into you, they know. Like, it's not they know. So it's just like, why waste all that time?
Yeah. And I will say, I do think there are some guys who do like you, who are into you, and they are kind of doing that I don't know what I want thing. And I really believe those guys are guys who think they can put you on a shelf. They're like, no, I know I want you, but let me run through these 8 people. And then I'm going to come back to you. And then we can go live our happily ever after. And if you're okay with that, because there's some women who are okay with that, then be okay with that. Know that that's what it is.
It just
and
has
be
to,
okay.
yeah.
And you do whatever you're doing while he's doing that. But if you are not okay with that, let that be known.
Mm-hmm. It has to be a top. It just has to. You just have to know what you want and let
Yeah.
it be known and talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay for things to change, but
Mm-hmm.
that communication part, like you can date someone and y'all are dating casually and y'all are fine with that, but now y'all spend a lot of time, y'all not talking to other people as much, whatever. And now it's like, no, I actually have feelings for you. Like, yeah, I got, 5 dudes on the bench, but like I don't even be wanting to talk to them no more. I just be wanting to sit up with
Oh,
you.
with you, right?
This man want to take me to Cancun for Valentine's Day, and I want to go sit at your house so you can cook me this burnt ass steak. Like,
What is
that's
that
where we
telling you?
are. That's where we are. And
Mm-hmm.
where are you? Let's
Mm-hmm.
reevaluate where we are.
Yeah.
But okay, so speaking of those feelings of unsureness and stuckness, like what do you do if you when you're in a situation where somebody, whether it's you or him, are like, I don't know, like when one person's ready and the other person's not?
I've been in both situations. When somebody was ready to marry me and ready to, but I wasn't sure that I was ready, and I kind of like I was being that person, like kind of keep trying to keep it going because I kind of wanted to, but I kind of didn't know why I didn't want to. So it's like I just kept going, and I never like I would talk about it, but I kept on pushing it away. Um, but then being on the opposite side of it, where I don't know what we're doing, and I think he's just trying to keep me in a box to keep me there. I'm like, okay. So I talk about it. So that's the thing that I do. I'll bring it up. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to express how I feel about it. But like I guess after like 3 times, it's just like, I already talked about this enough. Like now I'm just going to call it quits. Like I have to break this off.
Yeah.
And that's what I have done. But my old habits of going back is something I need to get rid of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because I will, like, I give you those 3 chances. I already gave you 3 chances. I tell you how I feel. We'll see. Like, I give you time to fix it. And I ask too, like, is there anything I can do to accommodate you? Is there anything I can do to show my love to you? Is there anything I can do to make this easier process for you? Like, but I don't think guys know how to ask for what they want.
They
Like,
really don't.
I know how to ask for what I want. Some women don't even know how to ask for what they want, but I know how to ask for what I want. And so if I'm asking this stuff of you, I'm giving you a chance to do the same, and I'm gonna work on it. But it's just like if you're not, if you're like, no, you're good, you're good, you're good, but you're still not even meeting anything I'm asking. It's just like I gave you 3 times. It's pretty much we're done now.
Yeah. I think I've been on the same as well. I had someone trying to marry me, actually said yes, got the whole proposal, everything. And then I just kept stalling on actually planning the wedding, doing anything for the wedding. Like after I said yes, I was like, all right, life back as normal. And eventually family members were like, okay, so what are y'all doing? And kind of the same thing. It was just I was unsure. It was a person who was a really good person. They were a really good person. They were a great partner. I just was not in love with them. And it took me a long time to realize that they were a good person who I loved, but I was not in love. And it took me some time to just figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved being around him. I loved talking to him. It was fun, but it was more like because you're my homeboy. You're
Right.
like my best friend and I love you. And then also, when you have that and you're compatible in other ways, you're like, well, I mean, yeah, this will work, but it didn't because I did not have that thing that made me want to fight for that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like anytime we have a problem, I was like, oh, okay, I guess we should break up. He's like, no, 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 we can make it work. I guess. Like it was like,
Right. Right.
I mean, I really feel like I just was always like that. But on the other side, I have had a situation where someone who did everything to make it seem like we were on the same page, that that's what they wanted, and then would just stop the brakes out of nowhere. And not so much stop the brakes, but would just say something that would make me stop the brakes and be like, what? That's not lining up with everything you're doing. So what is it?
Which
And
one is it? Yeah.
yeah. And that only happened twice. And then I had to go. Because at that point it went back to that, you're now messing with my peace.
Yeah.
You're now messing with my peace. I don't care how much I care for you. I don't do back and forth. I don't do presenting myself one way, knowing I have other thoughts. Because now I don't trust any interaction we've had now.
Any of them, yeah.
Now I don't know what I believe. So when you try to know, but remember we were this, and I took you here, and I introduced you to this person. Yeah, but obviously you also having all these other thoughts going on. So
I mean, that's actually a good way to think, low key, because it was like, for me, I said I was thinking about things that were in the past, and it's like, but they're not doing it now, so that could have been. I mean, I'm not saying it was a lie or whatever, but that's a good way of thinking about stuff.
Yeah. So again, that's also like just not being on the same page. Like y'all not being on the same page. And for me, like if I feel like you're unsure, I do believe there's a certain amount of time and grace you should give people, because you can't start dating a person Friday and then want them to be sure by Sunday.
Yeah.
There is a certain pace, but I feel like we're in our 30s. Like it shouldn't take you a year to figure out that you want that person to be your girlfriend.
If you wanna, if you're really into it,
yeah. Like if it takes you a year, it's because you really don't want them.
And so it says not the one. Yeah, not the one,
and that's okay. But go let them be happy and find someone
or somebody who does choose them. Exactly.
Like my ex, the one I was talking about earlier, like I could not I cannot force myself to love him. Great person, whatever. We broke up and he went and found someone who loved the hell out of him.
And he
is now happy as hell with someone who loves him the way he deserves to be loved. And like I'm happy for him because he deserves that. But men need to start having the same type of love and compassion for these women. Let them go so they can go be loved by someone that loves them while you're holding them captive.
That would, for no reason. Like,
for no reason.
For what? Find somebody that won't love you like same way you love others. Like,
but people be trying to hold people captive so they won't be lonely.
And they not even happy for real.
That's the thing. But like, and you can cause so much trauma and emotional damage to a person when you do that. Because when that person finally realizes, oh, you never cared. Wow, you never cared, and it took me this long to figure out. So much time, right? So now that person is like, what is wrong with me? Obviously, I can't tell when people actually like me or not, or love me or not, and that's something to work through.
Yeah, and you have to work through it alone, because clearly that person isn't emotionally available.
It's a very selfish thing to do.
Yeah,
it's a very selfish thing to do. And I mean, and that goes into though, like, do most people know what feeling love feels like? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know. Every now and then I have somebody like talk to me about their relationship or their ex relationship, and I'll just sit there. No, that's not love. And I want to make it clear, because I know there are some people that are into the poly life, and if you're in a poly life, no judgment at all. I have friends that are in the poly life and they're living their best life, having fun. But if that's not y'all arrangement,
and it's just like something they're doing on the side, that's not love, baby.
There are some people that are able to be like, nope, sex is just sex, and my heart goes out to this person. And there's partners that are fine with that. Like, as long as I get your heart, I don't care who you have sex with. That's fine. I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. If I love you, I get very, very
Territorial.
yeah, territorial with my love.
Mm-hmm.
Because not just anybody gets that.
Oh.
And I don't break it out of its cage. And it is in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It
a whole
definitely is.
process to break it out. So if I'm breaking it out, doing all that work, you better be worth it. But yeah, so it goes back to even knowing if you know what love feels like. And if you do know what love feels like, then you have to have a conversation with yourself and say, okay, I know what love feels like, because when my ex really loved me, he made sure, like, oh, I'll give you an example. I had an ex who loved me, who really, really loved me, who we were together for years. And some of this is just for his benefit, but like he figured out my period schedule. And on the first day of my period, he would come home with a Dr. Pepper, a Cadbury milk chocolate bar, and some hot Cheetos. Because I'm a little ratchet. And he would come home with that. And no matter if I came home later or if I was already in bed, he laid on the bed, give me a kiss on the forehead, and then he would go into his little man cage where he was staying for days. And he would just be like, are you hungry? He would just bring me up food and pretty much stay out of my way. And for us, that was like, I love you. I know that you do not want to look at me right now or hear from me right now, but I know you're still hungry, and I know that your back still hurts. So I'm going to come through to give a massage. I'm going to come through with food, but then I'm going to leave you alone. Not only that, but like, there have been times where literally I'm like, I don't have, even after we broken up, I have had situations where I'm just like stressed, and I'm like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah. He's like, look, I'll come over, I'll fix this, I'll fix that. You get to with your conference, you get to what you got to do. There was a conference I had to go to that I didn't realize because I wasn't checking my emails, and it was like day of, and I called him panicking, and he was just like, all right, I'll take off. And he came and babysit. Yeah. He is the child's father, by the way, guys. Before y'all like, why are you letting random men babysit? No. So, anyways, I know for me, a big part of love for me is, are you willing to sacrifice for me? Because one thing, I won't put you in situations where you sacrifice yourself for me often. Like, I'm very self-sufficient. So if you're coming to me and you're telling me you love me, but you're selfish, no, you don't. And I think that's a big part of it is, okay, when was the last time you felt love? What did that love feel like? Is your current partner making you feel that? If the answer is no, reevaluate. We might need to reevaluate. Worth it.
Or at least reevaluate to have that talk with the partner.
Yeah. And also, how many talks can you have though? Like, I feel like there needs to be a limit on.
But the thing is, like, you keep growing. You're never ending growing. So it's always gonna have to be something you talk about. But I guess you shouldn't have to talk about the same thing repeatedly.
Yes. I mean, yeah, if you're with a person, you're always gonna have to talk. But like, yeah, how many times are you going? There's certain problems that I don't think you need to bring up 8, 9 times. At 8, 9 times, all I have learned is that you are not going to change this thing. And now I have to make a decision if I am okay with you not changing this thing. And I don't need no shade to whichever decision you make. If you decide, fine, I'll just live with it, cool. That's your limit. You know your limit. If you decide, yeah, no, this is a deal breaker, cool. That's one too. And I think a big part of that is also when making those decisions, like, you have to learn when it's time to walk away. If you are using your intuition that's telling you to stay, or are you just
Mm-hmm.
using your own imagination for hope? And hope is like, no, but I really want him. And you know what? I just believe he's the one for me. And it's like at some point, sis, is that you, or is that your intuition, or is that you? And I know I don't think I have a clear cut answer for that, but I think it's something we need to look into, because I feel like I've definitely heard, and I think I might have even said that myself. And at some point, though, you have to have a real conversation. Like, okay, so have they given me a reason
Yeah.
to think
Instead of
this is worth staying?
imagination. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to. And that little small things. Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of times
Yeah.
we fall in love with our own thoughts. Like,
And we
we'll make up
follow them,
scenarios in
and
our
that's not
head
even what's
that will
going
keep
on,
us
sis.
there.
That is not what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He is not treating you that way. That's in your
At
imagination.
all. I feel like we've all had conversation with friends where we talk about something from the past, and you're like, no, that's not what happened. And they're like, no, that is what happened. You're like, okay. one of us got the wrong. One of us got the wrong memory. And I think it's sometimes because some of us just have bad memory. There's that. But also sometimes it's like, but were you living this relationship based on reality, or based on the image of that relationship you had in your head, the rose colored version of that relationship? Because that's definitely a thing too. But on the flip side, it's also a thing, like, sometimes we're like, no, my intuition is telling me it's time to go, when really it's your fear, your anxiety. I know for a fact that's a big thing for me. Back in our relationship attachment styles episode, I talked about, like, I have a avoidant dismissive attachment style, where we avoid getting too close in relationships. We will, how to say,
Fight or flight,
flight
yeah.
or flee, fight or flee. We will flee when things seem too close, and it seems like we assess the situation and there's a possibility for hurt, and we'll just leave. And I know for me, this is an issue, because I will show enough convince myself, like, but spirit says that this ain't right, and I'll just leave. And then later I'll think about it, and I'm like, no, I feel like that was your fear of abandonment, and lack of trust in males, and you don't convince yourself to leave this person who actually wanted to fight for you, and now it's too late.
And do
And it's just
anything
like, all
about
right,
that,
well,
yeah.
guess learn that for the next time. Yeah. But I think knowing that that's a thing and being able to recognize it can help you make better decisions. If you know when you get vulnerable, you want to disappear, then before you leave the next person, really check in with yourself and see, like, okay, am I leaving? The reason why I'm leaving, is this a real problem? Is this a problem that can be worked on? Is this a conversation that is worth having? Or is this just me letting my emotions get the best of me?
Yeah. I don't know. You have to reflect on it though, because you just don't you don't really know. Like, and if it is your emotions getting the best of you, like, what are you gonna do about that? Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
what
leave.
I'm saying.
So don't ask me. I'm gonna leave. History has taught me that I'm gonna leave. Like, I'm giving y'all advice. I'm not
Right.
following it, just so we are very clear.
Maybe this might help you out, guys.
Yeah. Maybe you guys should start a podcast on how to help Ress get through her emotional issues. Oh gosh. Did I tell you, by the way, I told
No.
my therapist I had a podcast? Yeah, she didn't seem impressed. So because she was like, what are you doing for you? Because I do a lot of stuff, guys, and Nique as well. And
Yeah.
just we're horrible at self-care. And so my therapist is always just like, okay, so what are you doing for self-care? And I was like, oh, I started a podcast. I actually started 2 podcasts. And I was like, one's with my best friend, and then one's a true crime one. And she was like, and how is that self-care? Well, it makes me happy. And I enjoy doing the editing and review and sharing and reading people's comments and writing back. And she was just like,
Yeah,
okay, so it
but
sounds like you
this
just
work
created
is
more work for
actually
yourself.
enjoyable.
But I enjoy the work.
Because when you're doing
Yeah,
stuff
that's
you
how I
love,
look
is it
at
really
it. I
work?
don't
You
know.
know what I mean? I
I
don't
don't know.
know. I think it could be a form of some type of self-care. You're
Yeah,
finding enjoyment in it.
that's what I think as well. But I feel like our interactions is just me walking in to her office. Well, not walking in, logging in now into our virtual office, and her just be like, fascinating. So that's how you think. Interesting. Like she's just always those
Yeah.
saying that and then writing notes. And I'd be like, I
And
feel
you're
like I
probably
probably
so
should have said
happy
that out
about
loud.
saying it.
Or like, dang. Yeah, like dang. I thought she knew that was a joke. She probably she's probably writing me a whole new diagnosis. But yeah, so using our intuition as well when determining if it's time to stay or time to go. But also, I think in order to use your intuition, you have to be honest about your intuition. Do you really use your intuition, or what you're calling your intuition is just you hoping, or is it just your fears? Because that's the thing, and I think we don't really address that
Like, is
enough.
it like the fear of what though? Like when we say yeah.
For me, it's the fear of getting hurt. Like I rather avoid the whole love thing than to ever get hurt.
Okay.
The way I've been hurt before. Yeah. And not even the way I've been hurt before, that as well, but also there was a particular relationship I saw growing up that was devastating to me. I mean, they survived. They're okay, but I made a promise to myself, I will never let no man put me through no stuff like that. I will never fight for a marriage like that.
And that and that put that in you, instilled that in you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that definitely created a fear in me regarding relationships. It created a fear in me that men cannot be trusted, that men always have a double side, that men are, they can be good at one thing. It doesn't mean they're a good person. Or they can be a good person, but it doesn't mean they do not do horrible things and create painful situations for people that
just don't care
love.
to.
So
because they don't even have to do like horrible things. They just care about themselves or don't care for
yeah. Or care about themselves more. Maybe they're allowed to care about people. But that's where my fear comes from, because there were just major relationships I saw early on that I found extremely harmful and destructive for the women, and the men seemed to just get away scot-free. And then I think my first relationship I ever okay, I'm gonna let down my walls and I'm gonna try this, devastated me. And so after that, it was just like, oh, okay, so I thought maybe it was just those people, but no, apparently it's all men. So now that I know that, I can just use you guys for conversation and sex, and I can go about my way.
I think for me it was more when I finally gave in. It was such a traumatic situation that it's just like, well, I don't want that to happen again, or like I don't want to lose anybody, or I don't want to fall for somebody. Like I have two extremes. It's like one extremely crazy relationship, then one losing somebody that I finally let every guard down that I had for, and it's just like I don't feel like going through all that again, and then it don't work out, or not even just losing them forever, just like it's not worth it. So
Yeah, there's definitely an emotional pain and toll
mhm,
that comes with
mhm,
each risk that you put yourself out there. And I know we're supposed to be like, yeah, keep hope alive, ladies and gentlemen. Love is gonna find you. But like, I promise I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but
mhm,
some people it does not happen for. Like, I know too many older women and men who
mhm.
it didn't happen. And I hope none of us that don't want that, I hope we don't have to experience that. But
Yeah, that's
I
true.
know that that's a reality out there.
Yeah, that's why you do
Um,
try to hold on to the little things
so
because you're nervous about that sometimes.
yeah, well, yeah, but you're the holding
Yeah.
on one because I don't even get to that part. I mean, yeah, I don't even no, get to that part. Um, but I do think when you make your decision, it's important to be strong in whatever that decision is. If you decide, okay, I'm going to stay, then really think about that and then really try to stay. Now, I'm not saying circumstances will change that make you leave or whatever, but if you decided to stay and you're like, I don't care what my friends and family say, and
Mhm.
it's not putting you
Mhm.
in a dangerous
Right.
situation, let me be very clear, then then stay and try to work through it. Try to give it your best if that's what you're deciding to do and it is not a dangerous situation. But also the same thing, like if you're deciding to leave,
Mhm.
I think it's important to leave. I think it's important that if you're ahead, you're like, I want to go. Now, I do want to specify if you are in a domestic violent situation, um, when you're talking about leaving, that is something I would prefer you to reach out to a counselor that specifies in that
Yeah.
area because that's a more dangerous
And you don't need to
situation
say I'm
to
gonna
me.
go ahead and well, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do,
Um,
but seek counsel.
yeah, because leaving when you're in a DV situation, that's the most dangerous time for you. There needs to be plans in place. There needs to be um, typically other people involved so you can get away. So definitely, reach out to your community resources and do all of that because it's very hard for women to leave
Mhm.
those type of situations on their own. But in a regular, non-violent situation, yeah, when you decide to leave, be strong in your leaving. Because I know sometimes we leave and then like a week later we cry. We're like, why did I leave? But I loved him and I wanted to marry him. But it's like, yeah, but
It's,
if you go back now, uh, okay, this is not. I'm gonna be very clear. This is not
no.
therapeutic.
Oh yeah, opinion.
This is rest. This is rest raw. Okay, she should not be. The raw rest is not
Mm-mm.
allowed to give therapeutic information. But my outlook on it is like, no, when you leave and you're like, I'm done, really leave. Don't do the back and forth thing. And I'm not saying ever, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. I do believe in a grand gesture, second chance type of thing. But I think that should only be a one time thing. And I personally believe it needs to come with a grand gesture. But I'm talking about the you just left Friday and now Monday. You're like, I should
Mhm.
call him back. Girl, no, leave. Stay. Now, if he calls you back and you want, that's another thing. But I feel like whether you're the male or the female in the situation, um, when you leave and you try to turn around and come back so quickly, it
They're
kind
never
of
going
builds in the
anywhere. Yeah.
person's head like, oh yeah, I got it like that. Yeah. That's not the case for everybody, but for a lot of people, I have found it builds up in their head like, because I got it like that. And once you have somebody thinking that, they gonna start trying to get little stuff by you. It may not be soon, and it might only be little, but they gonna try it. But back to the grand gesture, I do believe in second chances. Me personally, there needs to be a grand gesture if you want a second chance. I'm not a you call me crying and like I miss you. I'm gonna be like, cool. Is there a ring in those tears? Like, what are we doing? Like, you can't come to me without any type of grand gesture. You miss me. You want to come back? Oh, cool. Did you buy me that house
Right.
yet? Is the deed in my name? What have you done to prove to me? And I want to be very clear. That's not no gold digger stuff. That's some like, no,
This
I
is
want
what,
to
yeah.
see
Because you let me
actual
down before,
physical,
so
yeah,
go
that
ahead
you
and
are,
fix this and make
yeah.
it very known. Not just, I really miss you. I miss your face. You're so beautiful. No.
Look, it ain't gotta be a ring. Maybe it can be sending you a room full of flowers. My thing is, do something that shows me that you're willing to inconvenience yourself to make your love known to me. Because when someone wants to come back, especially if they were the one that hurt you, and all they have to give you is an apology, and that's it, you just can't trust that that's a real apology.
And that's like just
That
letting
apology
the,
means anything.
like, laying it out that they can just keep doing that, you know?
Yeah. So I truly, and that's just me. I truly believe when you gonna let somebody come back, they need to do some type of grand gesture to let you know they for real. I just personally like my grand gestures and documents, but to each his own. What are your opinions on second chances?
To give like a serious second chance, I'd rather, like you're saying, like, you can't just say I miss you or anything like that. It's just like, if I'm going to really consider it, like you say, you're done with talks, but me, I have to lay out groundwork. Like, we have to say, this is what happens, and if that doesn't happen, this is what's gonna happen, and we're gonna just agree to just let it go. Like, I need an agreement. Like, I need a agree. I don't really need a ring, because I'm like, I don't really want to take that, because I mean, you could do that and you could still do this and still act the way. I need some type of agreement, and if this doesn't work, we're just gonna leave, and this is just it, and this is our agreement, and that's what you want. That's what both of us want, and we agree upon. Because I took somebody, take people back. I'll talk to them again, but I'm not saying, oh, we're in a relationship or we're about to try to work on this, because we haven't had to talk about the pros. We haven't had to talk about the do's and the don'ts of this new situation, because it's you see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. I'm not saying grand gesture without a conversation. I'm just saying a conversation at all, just being the only thing is not enough for me. Because I just feel like if you are someone important enough that I'm even reconsidering giving a second chance to, that means me you
But
have
then
had
in your
conversations multiple
situation,
times
not
before.
so much, because you had your 2 conversations and you just like leave, but you never had the conversation because you never left it open to have it.
Okay, so we're getting a little too personal right now.
I'm just saying, like you.
No,
I'm not trying
I
to
know
like that.
what
I'm
you're
just
talking
saying,
about.
like.
I'm not
Sorry,
trying to put you on spot,
I'm
girl.
not. I'm
But you
not.
know that
But
one
I'm saying,
person.
like, you need to have. I still feel it should be conversation, a pros and cons conversation. Okay.
There was a conversation though. There was a conversation.
That's the thing too.
There was two
Like you said, with you can have your 2 conversations. You can be done. Like me, I think I give too many chances in, and you might not get, but you give enough for your standard. But me, I give too much. Yeah.
So what you're saying is
yeah.
we need to meet in the middle. So you need to not give 8.
Yeah.
I need to give more than
Yeah.
2.
Because
How about we
I
just
definitely do give
reaffirm
too many
4?
times. I do give too many times,
Can
and
we
it's
leave that
leave
4?
me like emotionless. So it's like it definitely needs a happy medium for both of us.
Yeah, I agree with that. My whole thing is, so when I say and when I do, when I'm like, yeah, my 2 conversations, I'm good, we're done. It's because though, once I tell you twice and I'm telling you like, hey, this hurts. Doing is hurtful. I don't like that. This is how I like to be communicated to. This is how I like to be loved. This is what makes me feel loved. When you don't do this, I feel unloved. When you do this, I feel insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Once I had that
Yeah.
conversation and twice you ignore that, now in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
you have told me you don't care. We don't have to have the conversation because you have actively told me with your actions you don't care, or you
Right.
don't care enough to change your actions for me, which is fine. That is your prerogative. But now
Mm-hmm.
I can decide to not deal with it. You
Okay.
are an option. Dealing with you is an
I
option.
guess
So
that's
I'm
it
gonna
too,
decide
because
no longer to deal
you
with you.
make stuff probably more clear than I do. Like I'll say, like, this hurts me. This makes me emotionally not secure. But I might say like, well, I guess I do make stuff sometimes clear, but I never make it. I think I do give too many chances, and people keep on thinking they can keep doing what they're doing. I guess I don't
Yeah.
know. Because sometimes when you say something, I'm like, well, I don't think I made it that clear. But then again, I could be like just giving them excuses.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Trying to be realistic about
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
did. Your part. Because I know one thing I will say is that I know I don't hear things the way that
Mm-hmm.
they are being said when I'm mad. So like I know when I'm mad, however I interpret it, that's how it's gonna be interpreted. That might not be what you said, but that's how I interpret it. Because I was mad, I only heard certain words, they triggered me, and now I'm responding to that triggering. And I know that's the issue of mine. It's something I'm trying to work on. And it's honestly a big reason because I know y'all making fun of me for always just like walking away mid conversation. But I literally do that because I can feel something rising within me that is like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna burn this whole thing down. So when I start feeling that
But you
feeling
know
rise in
yourself,
me,
though.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm walking
Yeah.
away. We're gonna need to have this
And it's good
conversation
they
where
let you
I'm
walk away. Because some guys are like, no, we're going to talk about it
yeah.
right now. You do not want to do that with a person like us. Because you do not want to do that. It's going to go bad. It's going to get ugly.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And then you know what? I never did have that conversation. So I probably do, if I ever I date again, have that conversation like, hey, if I walk away, it's for your health. It's for both of us to not end up in jail. I know people at the county. I'm gonna get out.
Yeah. I had
You gonna
recently,
be there for a while,
yeah.
baby.
I had recently
Don't
was
be
talking to
that.
somebody at one time. It was a Bumble person. And we I guess we dated. I guess you could call it dating. But we had talked about that. Like he was asking like, what do I do for like when you're mad? I said, if I ever get mad at you and I tell you like, just let me go. It's best that you just let me go. I don't want anybody to get hurt. And he was like, well, that kind of scares me. So, well, it's not to scare you. It's just to let you know, like, you gotta let me go, and I'll come back and talk responsibly. I'll talk calmly when I come back, but you have to let me go, or I don't want to hurt your feelings, and I'm capable of hurting your feelings. And if I care about you, I don't want to hurt you, so just let me go. So, and
Yeah. And see, that's the other thing. I feel like when women try to
yeah, like
cleanse men,
get
they're
so
always like, "Oh, you're
no,
crazy." No,
and I don't want
no,
to
I know
disrespect
my
you as a
limits.
man, right?
I'm telling you my limits. Yeah, I'm telling you my limits, and that's another thing. I know. Again, y'all, I'm a Gemini. I know when I get to a certain level of anger, I don't believe in. I don't believe in low balls.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing as a low ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming for whatever. I'm coming for whatever. You tick me off. And this is the thing. I will walk away before it gets
Just
to that
stay
point.
there.
But if you
No,
force me to keep
it's not
doing
gonna
this
be pretty.
interaction,
And I don't like to do that. Like, so
right,
I'm like, just let me go.
then
We'll
I'm
talk
gonna
about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it in a couple of hours, but I gotta get away from this situation right now.
yeah. And again, I also think, like, if you're with someone who is
That's
constantly
true
putting you
too.
in those situations, it's time to go. Like, if you're constantly making me feel like I have to walk away from you, then also, even if you let me walk away, why do you keep hitting me in these situations?
Yeah, that's true.
But and kind of going back to what we said earlier about, like, the reality of it is not all people get their happily ever after. And I think we need to be more honest about that, because I feel like it's said to women like, no, you just hold out and you're gonna get your happily ever after, and you're gonna you hold out. I know you're 56, you're eventually gonna get your man. And the truth is, no. Statistically, not every woman gets married. And statistically, not every woman that wants to have a child gets to have their child, because they're holding out, waiting for marriage. The marriage ain't coming, or the marriage comes, but now the marriage comes and they're 49, and it's not looking good for conceiving right now. There's IVF and everything, but it just may not be working for them. I think at some point in time, we have to understand that life might not work out how we want it to work. And I think when you realize that, the best thing you could do is be open to what the universe is doing in your life, and be open to it. I did not think at 30 I would be working where I work, living where I live, being a single mother, and being far away from family. That's not what I thought for my life. That's not what I thought I was going to be. This is not where I thought I was going. But there are some core things that I know that will happen in my life. There are some core things that I know will happen, and I guess they just happen in different ways. And now I'm just like, okay, universe, obviously you're like, fuck you. So that's fine. I now I'm just like, all right, well, universe, do what you gotta do. You're so big and bad, do what you gotta do.
I clearly don't have it. I mean, it's the same for me. Like, I got to 30. No, I was almost to 30. And I was at 29. I was like, okay, I got my fiance, I got my baby. I'm moving to the place I always wanted to live. I'm good. And then it just like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. And so I just have to, like, deal with the reality. But that's what kind of dampers my dating life, because it's just like, and I already know what I wanted, and I don't have that. So anything else right now is just second place. So it's just like trying not to be in that mentality too. But I honestly had just like let the universe do what it's gonna do and let it lead me to where I'm gonna be, and just a passenger, because I planned all this stuff that I thought was gonna happen and it didn't. So it's like, no, I just have to like let it be, or whatever happens, happens, I guess.
Yeah. And not even like be bitter about it. Like, just be like, okay, so this is not what we're doing.
I definitely
Okay,
feel like
now I know.
I finally got over the bitterness of it. Yes, I'm still unfortunate sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still kind of salty, but I was like really, really bitter. It's going on 3 years now, for at least the first year and a half or so. So just like, but now it's just accepting of it and just putting it out there, like whatever's for me meant for me is just gonna happen. But it took time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think any of my situations left me particularly bitter. Um I walked away from my engagement, so that is the difference. I chose that. I walked away, but I will say, there are just other things that I wanted to happen, especially career wise. I didn't think I was going to go into the field that I went into. I thought, I would be taking over the world, like in evil scientist type way. But then I found out I wasn't good at science, so it just it knocked my plans off schedule. And I ended up falling in love with the work that I did, but it was not my plan. It was not my plan to fall in love with the work that I did, and it was not my plan to end up in this particular niche field that I am in. And so, just being open, because I remember the first time I took a forensics job. The first time I took a forensics job, I was just like, oh yeah, this is just a job until I can get the next one. And then every job I got offered that was forensics. And the jobs got better and better, but that was never my original plan. And I believe all that knowledge, it's not where I'm going to end, but I do believe all that knowledge is going to help me on my life plan. And the same thing when I'm talking about life plans is, or the universe's plan, is the same things can happen for relationships. There's certain people that we're like, oh, this is the person I'm going to marry, this is the person I'm going to be with. And then you find out, well, no, the universe says no. And it's like, be okay with that. I have never had the universe take a person from me and then not give me someone better. Never. And if you have had the universe take someone from you and you got someone worse, it's because you settled for worse. And so I say that to say, like, yeah, when your plans don't work, trust that the universe has better plans, more plans, and that's something that we just need to be open to, because I feel like a lot of times people get to our age and they get real angry and mad, and they're like, this is what I wanted to happen, and it should have happened this way. And it's just like
end all, and it's not really the end all. It's kind of the beginning of real adult life. Like,
it really is. It really is. As someone who is 29 in 9 months. Yeah. No, 29 and 10 months. 29 years old and 10 months. Just barely still in my 20s. I feel like 30s is adult life, because I still certainly don't feel like an adult. I can tell you that much. I am always in Zoom meetings wondering how I got there and why everybody else knows these big words.
But it's definitely not the end all, though. I think people just put that age, like, I'm supposed to be president of the United States by 30 years old. No, like, it's not the end.
I really wish some of our presidents really would have thought the opposite.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Another.
Not in my life. Girl. Oh, they passed the stimulus check.
This thing, that money.
Yeah. They made it lower though, so some people can't qualify. But I still think it's like, I still think it's like 90,000.
Is it a certain amount?
Yeah, and like 100. It's for the 1,400. I don't know if you're getting the kids credit this time. They didn't say that. They just said 1,400. But I feel like last time when they did the 600, they didn't say nothing about the kid credit, and the kid when did that supposed came. To come? So they just signed it today. So they just passed it today. Biden has to sign it. I'm assuming he won't sign it till Monday. Reports are saying that we can get it as soon as next week.
It's gonna take another 6 weeks for us TurboTax people to get it.
Yeah, hopefully not. They said that they got that figured out, so it could be as soon as next week.
We know what single moms are going through right this current minute. This current hour. That would be such a great blessing.
But so just briefly, I had a conversation with my homegirl. This was a while ago, Ashley, and I can't remember. She was saying something. She was like, not having money, and I was like, what do y'all non-children having people do with y'all money? And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, me and you make the same amount, because we were working the same job at the time. And I was like, me and you make the same amount. I don't have monies because it goes to this child's $800 daycare, feeding her, gymnastics. Like, I just went through everything. And she was like, does that mean I don't have expenses? Yes, that's exactly what it means. I want to know what y'all single
Because
people
clearly,
are doing with y'all money. After y'all listen to this, if y'all can leave a comment and let me know
right.
where y'all money going to, because before I was a mother,
extra
I had
here and
all
there,
types of monies. Me and Janique were working minimum wage jobs in undergrad, flying to Atlanta, staying in
and
4-star
still paying our rent
hotels every other month. So still paying our rent. So I want to know what y'all doing.
And on top of that,
because we were
I
working
used to go
part
out
time
a
on top of
lot.
that. Yeah. Yes. We used to do Taco Tuesdays.
Oh, we used to go to Brothers.
We used to go to Margaret. We used to go to Clay. What's the other? What was
shut
the
it
other
down. Was
black
it the
pub
Mix?
in Cincinnati?
The Mix? That don't sound
The
right
Mix?
for some
I
reason,
think
but
so.
maybe it was.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. The Mix, and then we go to Play, which was like a diverse crowd, and then we would go to a bar up the street, which was a white crowd, but it's fine because
that's
the
why we
guys
got in
love
them
to buy
clubs. So
drinks
we
there.
probably just get on a free drinks.
And then at the end of the night, we would go to the after club margaritas, where we did have to pay to get in, but margaritas
and the drinks was
like,
cheap,
$4.
and everybody was having
cheap.
such a great time.
Yeah,
that was like, I would never forget partying at margaritas. That was like my best parties ever. It was so hot and but it was so much fun.
It was. And again, but I had monies. I remember us being like, oh, we're going to go out of town.
We surely went on shopping sprees.
Girls. Let Atlanta see.
Yeah.
Look. And then, like, just last month, me and you had a conversation. Like, I don't know the last time I bought clothes. They can't make us go back to the real world.
Everybody like, y'all look cute. I ain't got no clothes in my closet, though.
At all. And I keep lying to myself because I'm like, because I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to wait till I lose weight to buy some more clothes. And then I'll lose weight. And then I'm going to look how much weight I lost.
Right.
So I'm going to eat some chocolate
right
now.
back to the weight. Right.
Go right back. Yeah. I didn't gain all of it back. I still lost some. But I definitely gained 10 pounds back. But it's okay. I went to the gym this morning. I ate fried Oreos as well this morning, but I went to the gym. I went to the gym for about an hour and a half. I feel like it worked itself out. But anyways, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on whatever platform you listen to us on. Leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Also, if you guys could write words in the reviews, because some of you guys left reviews, but it's just the stars when nothing else, and we appreciate it. Yeah. We do.
Any
but
comment,
if you leave some
anything,
words, that would help us out a lot.
Ideas for topics.
Yeah. Also, if you are a podcast host and you host on similar topics, definitely reach out to us. Reach out to us in our inbox or DM us at She Wolf Alchemy on Instagram. And reach out to us. We are definitely down and interested in some collabs. We're still working on ours. Have you reached out to your person?
I actually reached.
Okay, so we're still working on it.
It was very short, so I was kind of trying to build to that, but we'll talk. We'll talk again this week, coming week.
Okay. I think that one's gonna be really, really fun. We're gonna have the men coming on as well, talking about love and dating and getting their perspectives. Because as you know, ladies, they're emotionally immature. So I'm just very interested to see how they respond to things. Rob is a close friend of mine, and he cracks me up with the way his mind works just on general things. So I know I'm going to be fascinated on how he answers questions about love and relationships and so forth, because his mind is fascinating. It is a fascinating place. Oh gosh, is that what my therapist means when she says fascinating? When she says fascinating, because I
Hope
know what I
not.
mean when I
Hope
just said
not.
fascinating.
Because I have,
I
yeah,
mean, we are
yeah.
gonna have to have a talk. Yeah, we got to talk. But yeah, like, subscribe, please. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Share, save. All those things help with the algorithm of Instagram, and that helps other people find us. This helps us get on the home page and explore page more. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you guys enjoy the episode.